Guess what? We're back, but we're still in Atlantic City. I got the opportunity to sit down with the man, the myth, the legend, maybe even a mad scientist, Mike from Tony Boloney's. We had a great conversation, everything talking about wholesale mozzarella to his crazy creations to smoking jerk chicken in the back. This man is a psychopath. There's nothing he can't do. There's nothing he won't do. Huge motivation, gonna get you fired up. Mike built his business in a house surrounded by absolutely nothing. Talks about the struggles of being open and turning that one shop into an empire. He speaks on the blowback of some untraditional toppings and creations that sometimes not everyone understands. Mike is a trailblazer, somebody that doesn't care too much about your opinion and does what he wants. It shows in his food. We had 2 slices right after the pod and both were incredibly delicious. The creations are like none other. The ideas are out of this world. The work ethic is insane. He's making his own cheese, his own sauces, and pressing his own oil. Mike cannot be stopped. It was incredible sitting down with him, sharing some time with him, and really the most important part, the Wu-Tang Clan. Ladies and gentlemen, Wu-Tang forever. Mike from Tony Boloney's. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for doing this.
Of course.
I'm very excited.
It's a pleasure.
I'm very excited. Usually just kick it off with what attracted you to pizza and who ultimately taught you how to make it?
I've always liked pizza.
Yes.
I was the kid in college that would be late night eats, buffalo chicken ramen noodles out of a crock pot, just random shit. I'd make it. So I was always that kid. And in high school, I liked to cook for myself. Growing up, my grandmother used to make everything, and I just was into it. I always liked pizza. I grew up in Freehold, New Jersey, where Federici's is, which is like a super thin 1950s bar pie. I mean, cracker thin. That's like my all-time favorite pizza. So I just always liked pizza. I was never like into pizza, like hardcore into pizza.
Yeah.
But then I opened Tony Boloney's, and that was the first question. The second question was...
Who taught you how to make it?
No one taught me how to make it because no one would teach me how to make it. And when I opened this spot, it was to feed construction workers at then Revel Casino. And they were going to open MGM before that, which didn't happen. They opened Revel. We were going to rent this place out to a bodega serving frozen shit to construction workers. And then all the bodegas were like, nah, we don't want to do this. I said, fuck, what are we going to do? Let's open it up and serve frozen shit to construction workers, honey buns, toilet paper, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
And me and my buddy Nick opened it up. My father, we just had a convenience store. It wasn't my main business. I was here like once a month, maybe, once every 3 weeks. And then when Ocean or Revel went out of business, they stopped construction. They lost all their money. I was like, shit, like, what are we going to do? Let's start serving food to people, real food, not frozen shit. And anybody I had working for me, I was like, all right, so like, let's make our own dough recipe. We're buying dough, or we're making our own dough, sort of. And they were like, nah, we're not teaching you shit. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, we got to start making our own dough. I want to start doing things genuinely. I want to make our own sauce. Like, to call my food supply, how do you make your own like tomato sauce? No, you don't want to do that. Just buy like pizza sauce. You put in water and it's no big deal. I'm like, no, how do you make it? You don't want that shit. How do you make mozzarella? They were like, yeah, you got to buy curd. I was like, all right, well, how do you make curd? Like, you don't make curd. I was like, someone makes curd. You can't make curd. I was like, I want to make curd. What do you need? Like, oh, you need milk, you need to rent it, and this and that. And I was like, all right, well, can I buy it from you? They're like, man, we just buy the mozzarella. So I'm not even gonna sell you curd. I was like, fuck you. Get out. And I kicked all my suppliers out. Yeah. I fired all my employees. One guy stuck around, and I just taught myself how to do everything.
That's pretty insane, considering that.
It wasn't my full business. I wasn't like, I was in Bushwick and I was in Chelsea.
Doing what? Were you doing restaurant stuff?
No, it's totally different businesses.
Well, it's interesting because as we sit here today, and this started out as like you're selling frozen shit to construction workers, and now you have like your own buffalo mozzarella and your own olive oil, and all for wholesale.
Yeah, wholesale mozzarella, wholesale olive oil, stuff that we harvest in Sicily, that we manufacture, we bring it over. A whole mozzarella factory in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
We have a commissary, we make all of our own sauces. all of our own recipes, the whole 9 yards. So it's kind of like the polar opposite. But when I started doing it, I was in Bushwick, I was in Chelsea, and I was like, I'm coming down here once a week, once a month, and it was like twice a week. Then I was down here 4 or 5 times a week, just getting involved and getting interested in it, and like really just wanting to do it, almost out of necessity because there's no business around. But then I was like, oh, I actually like this, and I like making shit, and I like cooking, I like, you know, doing different things. And my mentality since day one has been like, if I can make it, I can buy it theoretically. You know, to a degree.
Yeah.
Which has gotten me in some jams before with like production and just going overboard with equipment. Yeah. And, you know, oh, I'm going to fucking, you know, whatever. Spend a lot of money on that. Of course. There's, you know, some big lessons, but that's my mentality. If I can make it, if I can buy it, I can make it. And, you know, we go to far extents to
I mean, you're flying to Italy.
Like we're smoking ribs in the back right now.
Yeah.
For our log cabin creeper pizza. Yeah. Log cabin creeper pizza. And also the Piney Surprise from Jersey. Pineys are like Pine Barrens. Yeah. You know, it's kind of a derogatory term for someone that lives in the Pine Barrens, but I'm from Jersey and I love people from the Pine Barrens. And so it's called a Piney Surprise. It's like a smoked 8-hour baby back barbecue rib pizza. And so like, could I buy baby back ribs? Yeah, of course. Could I like?
Would it be easier?
Can I? Yeah, fuck yeah, easier. I know. Oh my god. Yeah, holy shit. But you know, after a certain point, you know, there's so many layers and fabric to like what we do and who we are and organization and the amount of locations. Like it just kind of becomes like, well, we're doing it. So there's no turning back.
Where's the commissary?
In Atlantic City.
Okay, so the commissary is in Atlantic City. Are you still doing all your dough production on site at all your places?
That's all on site. Yeah. That's like the next step after it would be to centralize dough. But in reality, you know, not that it's centralized, but we make a poolish every day in each store. We then take at least like 4 dough balls, sometimes more depending, from each store, and we pop them to the other shops. So everyone gets a dough ball from everyone's dough. And we cycle that into the dough batches. Okay. So it's kind of rhythmic at this point. Yeah. So everyone gets a little taste of everyone's stuff. And there's a little bit of funk that goes around. Yeah. You know? But if we centralized it, it would just be probably a little more consistent. Yeah. You know? Yeah. But I guess like... But I don't even care about the variant, the consistency outliers are almost like the nuance of the store. Yeah, of course. So it's not to me, it's like not a huge issue. Every store has to feel exactly the same. Exactly. Are all the menus the same? All the menus are the same except for Long Branch, which is in Pier Village. Yeah. And they're basically a summertime, we go crazy. It's slices. I mean, it's just a heavy, heavy slice shop. Okay. So in the wintertime, we scale back and we just do slices and like a couple subs here and there. Okay. But not the full menu, not crazy salads and subs and everything. It's just too much. Okay. And we're so slow in the wintertime, it's not worth. Yeah. And you probably see a pretty big drop off after Labor Day. In that store, that store, it's like it's like you collect your nuts during the summer, and I mean you don't close anything during the winter, do you? Flat earthers, you know, like you're gonna go off, you're gonna just fucking go off the edge. In the wintertime. Yeah. It's crazy. But with that being said, you know, it's a good store in the summertime, keeps us busy. My manager there has been there since day one. Does a kick-ass job and he holds it down. In the wintertime, he gets slim. Down here, we're surprisingly busy all year long. That's good. It used to be more seasonal, AC, which is weird because I feel like AC in general used to be a little less seasonal when we first opened up. Yeah. But it's like, you know, the city could be dead, but we're busy. Yeah. And we keep busy. That's good. People know to come to us. And, you know, Wu-Tang tonight is in town. So this place was packed out all day long. People from the Wu-Tang concert. Where are they playing? Wu-Tang and Nas, Boardwalk Hall. I wish I would have gotten tickets to that. Get tickets right now. They're like $35 a piece. All right. Wu-Tang tonight. I'm going tonight, yeah. Yeah? Hell yeah. I mean, look at the menu. We have the Shogun Shadow Boxer, which is an ode to Wu-Tang. We have the Shaolin Assassin Wings. You should have got them in here, dude. Where's the jizz? I try. Inspected Dick. I've tried. Yeah. But it's tough. Yeah. They're on tight schedules. I'm sure. Like even like Yeezus came to town, like Yeezy tour. Yeah. Back in the day. Like we catered his whole tour. Oh, nice. Like when he was here, not his whole fucking tour. Yeah. But like, you know, his whole tour buses and everyone. But to get them in the shop, like literally the concert ends and like they're off and running. It's fucking wild.
Yeah.
They sleep at night on the bus while they drive. Like it's a whole.
The schedule is probably real tight.
So even like a lot of people that come to town, whether they're performing artists or comedians or celebrities, like usually they're under the umbrella of a casino.
Yeah.
And they're handled by the casino. And all the attention when they're in town is on that casino.
Yeah.
So to get them to come over, like their handlers do, they'll pick up food to bring back, whatever, but like to get it
they're not
in
coming
the shop.
over. Yeah.
Yeah, which
there's obligations to those casinos.
Yeah.
You don't fuck with the casinos.
You don't fuck with the casinos. So for me, it's like, it's not the biggest thing to try to wrangle someone. But I genuinely like Wu-Tang. I could sing, their whole entire 36 Chambers, all of Iron Man's, Liquid Swords album, Jizza, Old Dirty Bastard back to back, Method Man and Redman, so like I'm pretty
Wu-Tang.
Pretty fucking hardcore, so it would be fun to have them in the shop.
Yeah. Well, it'd be a fun show.
With that being said, they're fucking busy guys.
Yeah,
so
no doubt.
Right.
Let's go back to the wholesale. How the hell did that start? Was that something you always wanted to do?
I mean, that's something, honestly, that I'm trying to figure out as we speak.
Is this like a newer thing?
Yeah, like the olive oil wholesale, no. Like, I've been doing olive oil in Sicily for 10 years now. So 10 years ago, me and my buddy Vincenzo, he's from Sicily. I met him in high school because he protected me from getting my ass kicked.
Okay, that's a good friend
in the lunchroom. Yeah, amazing. Like, little Sicilian guy at the time. He's not so little anymore.
Little Joe Pesci.
They were throwing like food at my table, and he walked in the first day of school. Like, he barely any English. Said, "What's going on? Like, why are these guys throwing shit?" I was like, "It's okay. Like, you can sit and eat lunch with us." And then like he grabbed me by the back of my shirt and brought me over to their table. It was like, "You do this again, someone's head's getting thrown in the sink." Like, you know what the fuck he's talking about. So we started doing olive oil like 10 years ago there. Defunct piece of land, and then we linked up with a vineyard who also did a lot of olive oil. We started doing production with them, and so we do that. So that's kind of like an easier thing.
Okay.
Like, we hold FDA license over there from the vineyard. Like, it's a little, for us, wholesale mozzarella and all the other stuff we're getting into is a little bit of a learning curve. So we're still trying to figure that out.
Okay.
It's a different animal, like from retail.
And are you doing are you doing that yourself? Do you have a distribution company or that's like canning all your shit? It's all the stuff that you're doing in the commissary?
But in reality, should I be working with a distributor? Should I be working with someone that distributes mozzarella products? We're just a little different. Like our new mozzarella coming out is called like Heathen mozzarella. Yeah. And our brand is Mad Mutz. Laboratory with crazy psychedelic shit going on. Yeah. So like the distributors that I know of are like hardcore Italian, and we're Italian distributor, and like we pride ourselves on keeping Italian, whatever. And I'm like I'm an eighth Italian. I'm Jewish. Like my favorite food's Indian food. Yeah. So a lot of times my product mix doesn't fully line up maybe with what they want. Like we tried getting to Italy years ago, and they were like Tony's Farm Table. I was like, yeah, have you seen our jars? They're fucking dope. Like the Art Deco, some dude, sowing wheat, with the city behind them, and the whole vibe was that, people were getting left behind in the Industrial Revolution, and we stick to our values, and we do shit by hand, and it's just, and they were like, yeah, no, like, is it from Sicily or Italy? I'm like, well, that's not. Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't fucking deal with that. So it's different. It's a little, there's probably a niche.
Yeah,
that we can get that a lot of those distributors don't focus on. Okay. But I'm sure there are that do focus on that.
It's different, which is exciting. Yeah. I mean, but look, if we can step into your dojo of your menu is fucking crazy. Like, crazy, you know what I mean? Your creations, I think I saw a post that you posted. It was like that monster fucking pepperoni. Yeah. It's on the counter. It had 27,000 likes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's and like that video, I think as of today, I think it's at like 30 million views.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how many views that thing had.
Just like one day. Yeah. It's 30 million on TikTok with Devour Power and a few other like people that reposted it. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
I have so many questions about this.
You guys good? Do you need help?
Yeah, we're all right, man. Thank you.
All right.
So many questions of kind of around this topic, but going back to like the traditional thing, is that something that like you like? There's probably people that like look at your like food and be like, "That's not traditional." Like, what is this guy doing?
You're going to Pizza Expo tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So my experience going to Pizza Expo in Atlantic City or Vegas is not one that I enjoy. I walk around with my name tag flipped over. When my name tag flipped the other way and it says Tony Boloney's, I get approached by 12 dudes from, I'm just making up a name, Lorenzo's Pizza.
Yeah.
And I'm at a booth talking shit with Mike Kurtz from Mike's Hot Honey or whatever. Just bullshit with Paulie G.
Yeah. Talking about hats.
Oh, you're from Tony Boloney's? Yeah, I seen your shit. We've been in business for 30 fucking years and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, that's good. That's cool. Yeah, well, you know what? Like, you know, Indian food on pizza or like fucking tacos or some lame shit. Like, okay, well, that's cool. We keep strict and we have traditional Italian. And my grandfather, I'm like, that's fucking great. Like, get the fuck out of my face. Like, yeah, I don't care.
You. Yeah.
This is great. Like, good for you. Like, I probably would enjoy your pizza. I probably love your pizza. I'd probably be your customer once a week. I eat other people's pizza all the time. Yeah. I love pizza. So just leave me the fuck alone. And you can eat my pizza or not. And if you come in my shop and you didn't know me, and you know anything, and you told me you wanted some specialty shit, I'd probably lie to you and tell you that this is my grandma's Sicilian recipe and I give you Indian tikka masala pizza and you'd fucking love it. You otherwise be talking shit and then you eat it. Oh, it's fucking amazing. I'm like, gotcha.
Yeah.
Like that happens.
Well, people are so like, they fear what they do not know. But it's just like, it is interesting because like, you're like, when you go against the grain, you know what I mean? Like people have a problem with it, especially it's weird in the pizza community. It's pizza. It's supposed to be fun. You know, like everything about your brand yells fun.
Yeah,
it yells pizza.
I want to enjoy it too. Like I want to eat what I like to make and what I like to eat. I want my customers to understand that you can get pizza anywhere. You can get regular pizza anywhere.
Yeah.
You can get a cheesesteak everywhere. Customers just in today, like an hour ago before you guys came, and the lady's like, can you build your own sub? And I said to her, we will do whatever the fuck you want, but you can go to a fucking bodega and get a cheesesteak that they pride themselves in, or you can go to classic, AC sub shop or whatever it is, and you can get an Italian sub. Like, we don't do that. We can do it, but we want you to catch the Holy Ghost. We want you to fall on your ass. We want you to, holy shit, this is the best sub I ever had. Not like, oh, this is a good cheesesteak. Like, you can go anywhere and get, that's a good cheesesteak.
Yeah, that's not the aim here.
That's not the aim, which sometimes bites us in the ass because people just want a sub tray with turkey and cheese and Swiss and ham. And they want to do a $5,000 catering order to a corporate building. And we're just like, I mean, we can do it, but don't expect to, you're fucking... your socks knocked off. I'm not gonna make our own roast beef here. Once it's on the menu, I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna buy.
Next week you're gonna be making your own roast beef.
You know what I mean? Like in Hoboken, Fiore's, they fucking specialize in this homemade roast beef. It's hot, it's rare, with their homemade fresh mutts on a sub. Like it's fucking mind blowing. Yeah, it's amazing. Bianca Mano in Hoboken, these guys they specialize in that kind of shit. I don't do that. Yeah, I do different shit though. Yeah, like we have a Jamaican jerk mozzarella that we just started making for our Jamaican chopped cheese beef patty sub. That's what I want you to taste. Yeah. You may not like it, and they may not be your speed, but I think you'll appreciate it. Yeah. You'll be like, oh shit, like this is some fucking wild stuff. Maybe it's not your everyday meal too, which I don't want to be everyone's everyday meal.
I mean, I think it's important. There's like you said, 100 pizza places, but there's like only one Tony Boloney's, It's like, it's how you stand out. Yeah. How do you come up with these creations? I know that it's like, it comes from like past experiences you've said, or just like you eat something and you're like, I'm going to make this into a pizza, but it's like where the fuck do you even start? Like, did you have at time, like a ramen crust pizza?
Yeah, we do it like once a year, a couple weeks a year, but it's basically ramen crusted pizza that we take dry ramen, we take wet ramen, fresh ramen. One's Korean, one's Japanese. I think the fresh one's Japanese, the dry one's Korean. We take some of the spices from the packets if it has that. We then have like 30 different things that I bought at a Japanese market. Mitsuwa, I don't know any of them. I can't pronounce any of them, but I was like, yo, these all look ridiculous. I would check the ingredients, make sure there's no fish in it or whatever, just for customers. And then I would taste them. I would kind of figure out a recipe and we would put that in the pizza with some scamorza and mix it all up with some sauce. We make a crust out of it. We take soft boiled eggs, so we're running in the middle. We put them and boil them in a shoyu broth and make it on a pizza, and then cut a slice, and you'd have a slice of Sicilian pizza. with ramen crust.
Yeah. Well, it's like this insane idea, right? And so then to execute it, you know, like even like the genius of like the taco pizza, you know, like one, it's beautiful. It takes a great photo, but it's like how do you like maintain that? Because that's a lot going on. And so then like how do you train all your people?
Do a vegan too.
That's crazy.
So the thing is, like, knowing stations, like, could you do it from the pizza station? Like, theoretically, yes, you could do it from anywhere. But, like, you got to set up a separate station and everything needs its place. And I don't come from a culinary background at all. I don't come from a cooking background. I never had a job other than Starbucks in college that I was fired from. So, like, I don't know corporate. I don't know hierarchies. I just kind of know what we do. So for me, I do know you need a station for that. You need to separate out that process because we do it every single day, all day. Like that's the third taco pizza on the counter today.
Yeah.
For the slice, you know? Mm-hmm. So to execute that and get it out to a customer, you can't take an hour at a clip. Like you could. There's some places that do. Like you order in advance. The pizza places that every 30 increments. Like people do that. Place in Philly does it.
Yeah.
To me, it's not sustainable as like a scalable business for what we do anyway. So for me, like you need a station for it. You have to execute every one of those ingredients, and everything needs a recipe. And everyone needs the job, and everyone needs so that pizza can come out and it doesn't take an hour or 2 hours.
And it comes out the same every time.
It comes the same every single time.
And
we still have to make it though. We still have to make it from scratch. We still have to do all of it. Like I'm not opening up a bag and going. I'm not buying pre-made shit. That's the other like piece of my puzzle, which is tough sometimes. Like I just won't buy pre-made stuff. So if you ever see a can of something, it's going to be like sauerkraut maybe.
Okay.
You know?
You're not, you do you use canned tomatoes?
Yeah, okay. Jersey fresh canned tomatoes.
Nice.
So we do roast our tomatoes in season, but then you start getting towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
And what you're getting is heirlooms and other things that are kind of off. You're getting Jersey tomatoes that maybe you got to alter in certain ways. And honestly, like we make our own stuff to properly execute a crushed tomato. If it's not cooked down for like marinara sauce, it's difficult.
I'm surprised like, you don't have your own tomatoes, your own crushed tomatoes.
7-Eleven like kills it.
Yeah.
You know, Scalfani, Jersey fresh tomatoes, I think they kill it. But there's certain companies that do a really good job at it.
Yeah.
So over the years, like for our sauces, like all of our marinara sauces, like we make it with Jersey tomatoes. We can it, you know, jar it, whatever. Yeah. But I don't know. I've reached out to companies too in the past. Like Bumblebee, they're a massive packer for like everything.
Yeah.
Some other tomato companies, and I was inquiring about it because apparently, like Paulie G has his own tomatoes, and I was like, "Does a packer making them special for you, or are you just slapping your label on them?" Like he's a fucking wizard. I don't know. So you know, he got some wizardry going on behind the scenes. But to me, it's like to do that. I don't know if it's worth all the effort. And behind the scenes, we're making everything in commissary, so it's not like we're lining our shelves with like canned tomato sauces.
Yeah. Well, when I told my wife,
though.
Yeah, I mean, my wife always said that Jersey tomatoes are the best, you know.
I agree.
And
so that's why all the packers that do Jersey fresh.
Yeah. I
mean, it's really hard to find a bad one. You find out some brands that are like pizza sauce brands, old school, like, and they just use Jersey tomatoes, and they're good for what they are.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But like, I love 7-Eleven. I think it's a great product.
Yeah.
Pizza Magic or Tomato Magic. Like,
yeah, I use Tomato Magic in 7-Eleven.
Yeah, like they're good products. For me, there's just a little bit of an acidity difference. For sure. Like there's more acidity in the Jerseys. They're a little tighter. They're not as loose. And, you know, it's just there's little nuances.
Yeah.
And maybe a customer can't tell. I can tell.
Yeah, most likely a customer can't tell.
Probably not.
When you add a new item on your menu, especially one that's probably extensive, like the fucking bone-in sandwich that you have, does that go on every menu? Does it go on one store's menu first? Like, how do you implement those kind of changes?
So someone who's like a director of operations out there is going to be watching this, and they're going to be like, "Oh, this guy needs fucking help. Like, let me like hop in there and consult him or something." Honestly, I'm not kidding. I'll be the first to admit things that I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not a bookkeeper.
Yeah. But you imagine you have an accountant, right? Though.
Yeah. And I'm not like the you know, a great manager or director of operations, but we figure out our own processes, we do our own thing. But like if it goes on a menu, it goes on all the menus.
Yeah.
and I have to figure out a way to maintain freshness, reduce waste, obviously, distribute to all the shops to make sure it's consistent. And if I'm not distributing to the shops, making sure that everyone's prep is on point so they understand exactly the expectation. Because that sub, we sell a shitload of them.
Yeah.
And that sub is not an easy sub to execute. It's not something that you just slap on. Everyone's, oh, you fucking slap on the thing and you pull it out. Like, to get it to that point, you have to remove the sinew. You have to maintain the structure of the meat. You want to keep it as close to the bone as possible. You need to then roast it in the oven and get the meat to basically fall apart. You don't want any weird shit in there. You got to make sure the meat is all more or less the same ounce quantity on it. You have to then hold it properly. Then you have to hot hold it on the line so that you can easily execute it once the order comes up.
Yep.
Plus the cheese whiz that dehydrates that we make in house, Cooper Sharp, Jesus. American. Like, so between all those things, it's so many fucking moving parts. That one sub, it consumes a lot of bandwidth. You know? So you get on the menu. I mean, the way it starts for me is that it's the idea. You know, the money's like secondary. Yeah. The money's like the last part of it. Like, what's the idea behind the sub? What do I think, I forget will sell, but like what would I eat? But what I get excited about, I'm gonna do it. Yeah. There's no turning back. It's not like let's test it out for a little bit and like, see what happens. Like, no, we're gonna fucking figure it out. Yeah. I will expense the alphabet, A, B, C, D. I'll expense it 5 fucking times before I give up. Yeah. And we're gonna find a solution to it. How do we get it so we can make the sub? And what do we need to charge so we can make money out of it? Yeah. So it always starts.
How much does that sub cost?
$35. Yeah. Which is not. It's not the best margin. It's not a great. I believe it. It's like a steakhouse. Like the steakhouse is charging you $65, $85. It's costing them 50%. Yeah. So they're making a nice nut, on their net, but it's not like a food cost. Like, you can't run your food cost 50%. No. And I'm like, you can't do that. No. Right. So like, if that was the only sub I sold, I'd be in big fucking trouble, I think. Yeah. I don't have alcohol either.
Is that something that you would want to get?
Yeah, I looked into it before. Yeah. But I need good management to make sure that they understood that side of the business. Not that I don't have good management. I have great management.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a whole nother beast.
It's a different animal. Yeah. Me. And maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe I look too much into this shit.
Well, would you be like, I mean, dude, you get into alcohol, you'll be fucking distilling your own whiskey.
That's the other problem.
You know what I mean? Like, you'll just be fucking bottling your own beer.
Like, we work with the guys sometimes at the brewery up in Jersey City. What the fuck's the name? Of course, I forget the name of it now. It's right by a Jersey City shop. The guys from Hoboken Brewing Company. But all those guys over the years, like every quarter, they'll reach out to me, yo, are we doing a collab? Like, let's do something. Or let's do something together. And then I have to remind them, like, I don't have alcohol. Like, oh, shit. Like, you can do something at the brewery. I'm like, I know, but...
Is it expensive?
No. I mean, yeah, liquor license is expensive. Yeah. Like Hoboken would be like $300, $350.
$1,000?
Yeah. Yeah. Liquor license, Jersey City, probably the same. Here, maybe $150. Yeah. Long Branch, I think I have a shared license in the complex. Margate, probably the same, $350.
Are all the shops about this size?
The whole footprint is around 1,000 square feet, mostly. Yeah. This shop is 2,000 square feet. Okay. Hoboken's about 1,000.
Do you own this land?
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys bought this house?
That's the only reason why we're in business to this day.
Yeah. That's amazing.
If I didn't own the land, I'd be out of here. I'd be out of business in 6 months.
Yeah.
If I had to pay rent to someone and the economics wouldn't have worked in the beginning.
Do you own any of the other land that your stores are on?
The mozzarella factory.
Yeah.
And this. That's it.
Okay.
All the other stores we rent.
Yeah. When you decided to expand, was there a plan of like how many stores you wanted, or like is there a plan now for how many you want? I mean,
now I have a plan. When I first started opening and expanding, it was more like, opportunistic of like, well, market can use this, or like we would do well here. And that was the first like inclination, and then everything else, try to put those puzzle pieces like where they fit or maybe where they don't fit. Yeah. Whereas now we're a little more focused and we have an idea of, demographic and who we're going after and who likes our food or appreciates our food, and I'd say that everyone doesn't. Everyone, but who's our core customer and what things that we do different than other places that, make us stand out, and what numbers we can afford with overhead and projection. So it's a little more focused.
For that expansion, did you have like franchisees or like any investment, or was it just like, yo, it's
no, that's phase 2.
We're ready for number 2 now. Let's open up number 3.
We're still in phase 1.
Okay.
Phase 2 is more along what you were just talking about.
Well, let's talk about that.
It's all self-financed and it's all internal, which sometimes is tough.
Yeah.
Because it's just
me. Yeah, you're just
me.
You're digging holes. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Just, you're grinding it out and you're trying to get a store off the ground, which takes considerable finances and bandwidth and resources, and so it's a totally different model. For us going forward in the future, like we're gonna do a little different than what we do now. Yeah. And to this day, it's always just been me opening stores.
Yeah. When you see a slump in sales, like at one store, do you see patterns being able to have so many units? Like if one store has a slump, is it pretty natural for the other ones to slump during those times, or is there a store that does better than all the stores?
It's like, I would say that the only things that are mutually exclusive are holidays.
Yeah.
In general, whereas Atlantic City, we're busy on holidays because everyone comes off. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, you want to be down here.
Yeah.
We don't open on Christmas, but in general, like that week, it's like a busy week.
Yeah.
Because everyone that doesn't celebrate Christmas comes to AC. They're not in their homes. They're not waiting for fucking Santa Claus. They're down here gambling and hanging out, So, I would say mutual exclusivity would be to like the management, good management that's up on top of things and aggressive, and the markets are cyclical in the fact that like Hoboken sort of empties out in the summer. We keep consistent. Like Jersey City, Hoboken, a lot of people go to the shore. And they have houses at the shore. They go visit their friends at the shore. They have share houses. Yeah. So it kind of clears out a little bit. School's not in session. In terms of like Long Branch, it's strictly a summer market. That whole Pier Village is built for summer. AC used to be that way, but now it's pretty consistent all year round. So like if there's a slump, it's like because there's a holiday or there's something going on. Or it's like the week after Christmas when everyone spent all their money.
Yeah, that's a weird week.
And it's just a weird week.
That's a weird limbo week.
Everyone in the restaurant business says they're dead.
Yeah.
But for us in February, we're busy.
Okay.
It's weird. Like everyone's dead. Everyone's like, oh, it's the worst fucking month. Like we're getting crushed.
February
it's
and July.
Terrible. But like for us it's busy. July's our busiest month across the board.
I can see that out here.
Hoboken, Jersey City too. Like if people aren't going to the shore, but they're still off from school and their kids are around and they're hanging out at their house on their I don't know. And I'm a stats major in college, so like I love statistics. I love numbers.
It's nice to be able to get that much data over that amount of shops.
Yeah, so it's interesting, but like unfortunately, there are not that many things that are easily correlated.
Okay. Have you found it easier? I mean, I can probably answer this question. But I'd like. Do you find it easier with having more units in certain ways, or is it just a pain in the ass? Totally.
I mean,
like, do things get easier having more units? Like, do costs get cut with boxes or like?
No, I would think like our commissary, we take the majority of food to our commissary.
Yeah.
We manufacture and we distribute.
Yeah.
So in theory, the commissary is a great tool for consistency purposes, for inventory management purposes, for reduction of maybe prep labor.
Yeah.
And instead of people doing prep, focusing on, customer facing action, like making pizza, working the counter, executing sales rather than like making sauces. And all that would get consolidated and funneled into the commissary. In reality though, the commissary is like, it's a business that doesn't make money. And in time, little by little, it does benefit the stores from cost perspective. Yeah. And labor perspective. Yeah. And definitely consistency perspective. I mean, there's no question about that. Like all our sauces are exactly the same across the board. Yeah. You can't not be the same.
Because they're all coming from the same place.
Someone wanted to alter it. Yeah, but like that's not the case. I'm gonna get him. Yeah, that's not the case. So like it makes it easier in that sense. Yeah. But it's still more moving parts, and there's still more things to tackle, and especially with like customer service, there's always things that come up. Like this business is rough, where a customer has an idea in their head of what they want, and they're like, well, I don't understand. Like, why can't I get chicken broccoli pizza? And I'm like, well, we don't have broccoli. Now we do. I've got a roasted garlic broccoli chimichurri Caesar pizza with manchego cheese, like fucking amazing. But normally you don't have broccoli in the menu. You buy it frozen.
Yeah.
You break the florets up. They hold water. It's like canned pineapple. I don't want to do it. I don't like it.
I don't need it.
So people are like, I don't understand. Like, this is fucking ridiculous. And then like that one little interaction will go online on Yelp or whatever, and they'll blast you like, fucking, you don't want business. And it's like, it's not that we don't want your business. Like, that's not what we do. And unless we're doing fresh broccoli, I'm not buying frozen broccoli. There's very few frozen things that I'll buy in general for consistency purposes. Like, broccoli is not one of them. So we just don't have chicken and broccoli pizza. And that across several locations is basically,
there's a bizarre,
like that, which I personally don't really fucking care about. I'm not really focused on that customer.
Yeah.
It is headspace though. You want to make everyone happy.
Of course.
I'm a pleaser.
It's a bizarre entitlement though, that like I've talked about this before, where you've created this space. It's all yours.
Yeah.
And somebody comes in, they should be coming to enjoy Tony Boloney's, not what they get.
You need help out?
No, I'm okay.
You sure?
Yeah.
Steven, can you help her outside? Can you help her out? Thank you.
That's customer service right there, 5
Yeah,
stars.
we got you. He'll help you out.
Thanks.
Sorry, you created space.
You created the space, you created the menu, you did it how you want to do it. You did it for yourself. You're doing it for customers, right?
Right.
You want them to come in and enjoy it, but you did it for yourself.
They're the boss, ultimately.
Yeah, they are.
Right.
But the entitlement that like they don't have exactly, it's like, excuse me, you came in here.
Right.
I've provided you with this beautiful menu, all this hard work and love, and then it doesn't go their exact way, and it's a 1-star for you.
Oh yeah. Well, not only is it 1 star, the tough thing is that you have a customer literally. Do you hear that? I'm looking at your menu online. It didn't make any sense to me.
Oh my gosh.
Man.
Yeah.
Like that's a good example.
Yeah, that's
like,
perfect.
Well, it's very simple to see. It's very easy to see. But right? Like, so this is a good example. It's like, holy shit, like, what would you want to fucking bleed out? You want to, like, do this and just bleed out? Is that what you like? Is this the enjoyment you want to see? It's like watching people get hit by fucking cars.
I know, which people
like
watch
that,
on TikTok,
if
dude.
you like that, then it's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
So like, that's a good example. And
it's
one of those things where it's like, yeah, you create the space. This is what you do. You work really hard at it. Anyone's in the restaurant business, I give respect to. Because it's a tough fucking business.
Yeah.
It's not a cakewalk.
No.
You gotta really enjoy it. You gotta really like it. So with that being said, you create the space, you put all your hard work, effort, and everything into it. The good news is for us or for me is that 99, 96, 95% of people do appreciate it, they do like it, and they get it, and they don't care. They get why we have to charge $7. 95% likes it.
Yeah.
But the 5% it's tough because the 5%.
They're the ones that are living rent free in the head, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And it sucks, but you want to make people happy.
Yeah.
You want to make everyone happy. At my core, I'm a pleaser.
Yeah.
I'll tell everyone who knows me that I'll bend over backwards for anyone. I'm a pleaser. I want to make everyone happy.
Yeah.
If I'm in the shop, I make less money when I'm in the store.
Yeah.
I'm giving free shit. I'm talking people up. I'm juicing people up. I'm having fucking pouring olive oil down their throats. Like, whatever. It's true. So, I try to emulate that with everyone.
Yeah.
But you can't please everyone.
It's true.
And from the outside in, people that aren't in the business, like, oh, fuck it, everyone. Who gives a fuck? But it's not as easy as that.
No, it's not. It's not.
No.
Your branding is pretty incredible. Like the whole brand.
This is as well.
Thank you. The t-shirts, like the feeling does it say feeling trashy?
Yeah.
I like
Jersey.
I like it. Yeah. It's like
from Jersey.
Yeah. It's beautiful. Is that something that you did yourself? Did you hire that out?
So I used to do all my own stuff. I worked with a guy named Ross back in the day when we first had it. We had a guy with a mustache and a hat. It was perfect for when we first opened up, and it was what it was. But then I started thinking about, who is Tony Boloney's? What do we do? Why are we who we are? What are the things that we do that are different from other places? And it wasn't a guy with a chef's hat and a mustache.
Yeah.
Like the guy I'm working with now basically said to me, it's like 10 years ago, he's like, listen, let's do like a little bit of a study. Me pull images from all the internet, all the different pizzerias. And it turned out that the majority of them were a guy with a fucking hat and a mustache.
Yeah.
Red, white, and green. Like,
It's a me, Mario.
And I was just like, holy shit. Like, it was a little eye-opening for me because that's not who we are. We do weird shit, wild stuff. And then we started rebranding little by little and tweaking things. And like the logo we came up with was really far out. And we originally had like an Edwardian script. So I was like, let's do our own logo. Let's do our own font type. So we created our own font type. And then we made Tony Boloney still scriptish, but not so script. And like little by little, we started just progressing into that.
Yeah.
Some things got a little dark, which I like dark shit. Like Toy Machine. I love that brand. I love weird, dark stuff. But I was like, I can't go that fucking dark. You know, I don't want to go too crazy. I like Satanistic shit. So let's have a little fun with it. Let's do a little tongue in cheek.
To the edge,
you know, do a little tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
So we started doing tongue in cheek. So everything we do, like, there's these undertones of
it's a little raunchy,
weirdness.
like kind of like
like the pumpkin guy is a little fucking disturbed looking, and for Halloween time, if you really dig into the brand, you start looking into some of the stuff. It's almost like watching like an Adult Swim cartoon. It's like, is it really for kids? Like, probably not.
Wait, what is that?
You know, like, that's kind of what the vibe is for me.
It's like tongue in cheek.
Tongue in cheek, and like nothing that harms anyone. Nothing too crazy. And like, there's certain things that we do that could definitely be offensive to people, but like the piney surprise. Yeah. Like, I just picture some dude coming out of a log cabin and scare the shit out of like unsuspecting tourists that don't know anything about Jersey. Yeah. You know. But to me, it's like, I'm from Jersey. I don't know. Yeah, it says indigenous out there. People get mad. Indigenous, like, I thought that was pretty. You know, First Nations. I was like, no. Like, indigenous, like, from where we are. Like, what we do, and this is what we do. Not indigenous for any other thing. It's just from us. Yeah. From where we emanate from. So, and it's, you know, the whole thing's like fun. I mean, the branding too. Like, I could see like 1,500 of these units. You know what I mean? Has it been? AC's tough. I've always asked my wife. She's from Brigantine, and I've always asked her, like, why isn't AC Vegas? You know what I mean? Like, to me, it had like it was like back in the day, and you know, I got the history lesson from my father-in-law. Yeah. But like, is it tough doing business out here at all? No. I mean, I used to get really wrapped into the whole like us versus them with the casinos. Yeah. And I was really like salty for a long time, to tell you the truth. Whereas I go to the casinos and I would undercover. They didn't know me at the time. They didn't. I know a lot of people now, but like when I first opened up, or a couple years into it, or I go to the casinos and say, hey, to a concierge, like, hey, like, where's a good place to get pizza? Like, oh, well, downstairs in our food court, which I get, like, get your pizza. Yeah. But then I'm like, nah, I want to go outside the casinos. And they're like, oh, don't do that. Like, it's really dangerous. So I'm like, holy shit. Like, that's what you're telling other customers. Probably everyone in those casinos. But then I'm like, well, what about that place Tony Boloney's? And they're like, oh, that place is the worst area. I mean, you can go there if you want. I heard they got good pizza, but like, they can't talk bad about Tony Boloney's, but like, they're also not looking to promote it. And then on top of that, they're scaring the shit out of customers. And I would do that like once a quarter, just like see the temperature. Yeah. And I got really fucking salty for a minute about the casinos. I had like an internal boycott on them. I was like, fuck all these casinos. I wouldn't even step foot into them. I was so pissed off. Yeah. But then I was like, I kind of get it. And they're struggling to stay alive too. And they're struggling to employ people too. Yeah. And they're struggling to keep this massive nut. Like, I had, you know, call it 10 locations. We have a shipping office in Hoboken. We ship out food nationwide. We have the, you know. Old Billy? Yeah. Yeah. So between all those things, like, you know, there's like 10 things on my brain, if you will. The farmer's market business but imagine what they have on their brains and the corporate structure and oversight and bureaucracy. Like, I don't even know anything about that shit. I mean, I've never even worked for anyone before. Yeah, just other than my family business. Yeah, Starbucks or my family stuff. My father and my uncle and aunt, which I learned a lot from, selling at flea markets. I sold umbrellas, basically, at Englishtown Flea Market growing up. Like, that's where I was hawking umbrellas to old ladies coming off church buses. Like, I learned a lot about, you know, the gift of gab and stuff. But I was like, holy shit, these casinos, like, I kind of get it. Yeah. I understand it. And then I changed my approach a little bit into how I work with them or how I interact with them. And I basically say anything that comes from them is, you know, the cherry on top of the sundae, where the fucking term is, you know, icing on the cake, or right? It's like almost like an afterthought. And I don't even care about working with them. I appreciate them. I like them. They're the reason why a lot of people come to town.
Yeah.
And if I get a little of that overflow, great. And over the years, the tables not have turned, but like people just come to us and they get us and they're here for us. And they happen to go to a casino maybe, but they come in town and hang out at Tony Boloney's and, look where there are a couple spots and they're chilling on the beach. And like, that's pretty dope.
Well, full circle, didn't you just like do a collab with Oceans?
Yeah. And they were in the past, like Borgata, Hard Rock, Taj at the time, they've always we've had like Pizza Slaughterfest.
Yeah.
You've seen that online?
No.
We used to have a PT in competition. You had like 10,000 people roll through, 2010, 11, and 12. And
Man, why did they bring that back?
Well, I did it. It was Tony Boloney's Pizza Slaughterfest.
But why don't you do it again,
The whole entire
dude?
inlet was packed out with people.
That sounds like an insane
I'll show you a picture
idea.
afterwards. We had Questlove as the DJ one year.
Jeez.
For the Roots, it was all for Al's Lemonade Stand, and it got so hard to operate it. It was so expensive to the city, a mercantile license. It became a thing where there was no money for the charity left, which sounds crazy. But basically, they all would sponsor it. They give gift cards. They put people up resorts. Whoever wins the competition will give a free night. So they played with me a little bit. They were nice with me.
Yeah.
But Ocean came to me and was like, listen, we're doing this thing. We want people to come to AC and not be scared to leave and not feel like they have to be trapped. We want to make this a resort destination. And they were like, listen, we want you to be one of the vendors. And do you want to sell us shit? Do you want to have your product in Ocean? Do you want, it's open. And at the time I was really busy. I was like, honestly, we're maxed out on production for mozzarella. We're manufacturing basically all we can manufacture at this point with, space that we have and time that we have. It's summertime, farmer's market. It's just a bad time. But we could do a custom pizza for you guys on the counter. So we had a charcoal burrata, stracciatella, teamed up with Hank sauce, and they were all about it. They promoted the shit out of it. They were pumped about it. They gave us an order for 300 pizzas one day.
That's
they 80
sick.
pizzas, sending all their high rollers and players.
That's great.
Oh, they were all in. It was fucking amazing.
That's great.
Which was great. And I used to make mozzarella for a lot of their restaurants when they first opened up. So
Are you hand stretching that, or do you have a machine making your mozzarella?
Two.
Yeah.
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, because most places that have machines, they basically extrude it.
Yeah.
And they just let it rock.
Yeah.
I extrude it for purposes of consistency.
And you're making your own curd
And
too.
then
You're not even buying
No,
curd.
we used to. No, that was I
I was
can't
gonna
do
say.
it. No, that was
fucking
but
nuts.
that's where my brain almost went.
Yeah.
If I went that route, I probably would have lost everything. I was about to try to buy, into
all those machines that to make.
a pasteurizer.
Yeah.
I was going to buy a pasteurizer. I was going to get to buying raw milk. I would have needed 10,000 square feet for what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
2,000 square feet. So between all those things, it literally if I went down that road,
Probably wouldn't have ended well.
probably not.
No.
I mean, that's some real shit.
Yeah.
It's a different business. And even in Italy, I'm in Italy 4 times a year. Even there, that's a separate business. If you're a small dairy, you probably sell to a company that pasteurizes and makes curd, who probably sells to someone that makes pasta filata. If you're all in one shop, you're really local, you're really small, you're kind of like a hometown sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's just a different animal.
Yeah.
So luckily I didn't go that route. But also that was the first goal. It's let me just
Your
team
wheel.
up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Vertically integrated, top to bottom.
Yeah.
That's
some crazy shit.
some crazy shit. So I focus on, pasta filata, stretch curd.
Yeah.
We do burrata, we do stracciatella, we do scamorza, all pasta filata driven cheeses. We didn't get to hardcore aging, provolone or caciocavallo. To me, that's a different animal too.
Of course. Yeah, because you need space too.
You need space for
Yeah.
that. To me, that's not really what we focus on.
Do you switch gears? Do you do your own Instagram?
We do our Instagram internally. We work with some people sometimes. So sometimes people come to us and want to do collaborations. Sometimes the Valor Power hits us up.
Yeah.
We want to come in and do a shoot and we're doing some cool shit. But for the most part, it's us.
Is it you or do you hire it out? So
Depends.
yeah.
Sometimes in, sometimes out.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
if we're doing
your day-to-day Instagram is that?
Hey, you see me out
yeah,
there. Hey, what's
yeah,
up?
Yeah.
What's up, everyone? Wu-Tang's coming to town. we're doing this and that.
Yeah.
And,
Because-
honestly, I would love to do it more. I'd love to be on that more.
Yeah.
It just does take up a lot of headspace.
It does.
And
It does.
with
Are you guys on TikTok too? I haven't even fucking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy on TikTok. So between everything, we have about 100 employees across the board, and my obligation comes down to I'm responsible for a lot of fucking families and a lot of mouths. So I got to make sure the ship's sailing in the right direction. And
Yeah.
if I get a chance, I'll hop on say some stupid shit, or
Yeah.
I'll get a chance to, my menu, like the menu, I lock myself away for like 2 weeks. Like if I know a new menu's coming out.
Yeah. How often do you change that menu?
Every quarter.
Like completely?
No.
Okay,
Like,
but there's just some
usually
special
3
stuff.
subs, 3 pizzas, but like, to me, I have an arsenal of like over 1,000 different ideas that I love to put every one of them on the fucking
Of course,
menu.
dude. Do you
It's
have?
tough.
Do you have like a? Do you have somebody who slows you down? Like, who's like, dude, Mike, like. Let's save this for next quarter, or like, that idea is way too fucking crazy.
Over the years, I've had some people that have tried to slow me down, but the problem is, to be honest, that like, if you tell me no,
it makes you want to go harder.
Well, no, not even that. No, I'll back off. If you tell me no, like, you just gotta give me a reason. You can't just tell me no.
Okay.
You can't say you can't do that.
Yeah.
Like my food supplier, you can't make your own sauce.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, why? Like, because no one makes their own sauce. Like, that's not a good enough answer for me.
Yeah.
If it's Mike, you cannot buy $500,000 worth of equipment and try to finance it over the course of 5 years.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because every single month it's going to cost you $8,000 plus,
Yeah.
which means that you need to do X amount of business. Then I'm like, oh, like
Yeah,
that's
you're
a
right.
good point.
Yeah.
Wow, that's some scary shit.
Yeah.
Like, but that's different.
You just gotta have the facts behind it.
Yeah,
Or why not to
any,
do it?
Anyone, any of my employees, anyone on our team, anyone that tells me whatever, just give me a reason.
Yeah.
And I'm all ears. I love criticism. I love when I'm wrong. Like, I know I don't know everything, so help me sharpen my toolkit a little bit. Tell me, what's going on.
Yeah.
And I'm down to listen. But if you just tell me no, and you're like, because, like, oh, forget
That
it.
doesn't
It's
work for
fucking
you.
on.
Yeah.
Oh no. Like, it's on.
How often are you in all the shops?
I mean, I'm
Do
in
you
every
do-
single store every single week.
Yeah.
At least, Hoboken, Jersey City, I'm in there at least once, twice a week. It's partly floating around. It's partly doing some quant and some, admin stuff, making sure everyone's on task. And
At this point, are most of your stores kind of are they automated with like great management teams and like really like you're out of scheduling, you're out of like those kind of things. You're not doing payroll, like
oh no, yes,
you are doing those things.
Like my wife had to step in as we grew because the management we have on board is awesome. All of our shops, Oscar in Jersey City, Kareem and Edward up in Hoboken with Lena in the kitchen, and Benito in Jersey City, Ahmed in Long Branch. We have Luis and Basilio in Margate store, Atlantic City. You got Yaneli and Fernando, commissary. We got Susie. Like, great management, but at the same time, like, there's certain tasks and things that they're really good at.
Yeah.
And there's other things that I don't really care if they're so good at. And I've had directive operations in the past. It's probably more the fact that I don't really know what to properly tell them to do to get them to where they need to be.
Yeah.
And they end up just like helping on the counter or like they happen to get payroll done. Whereas to me, it's like, no, like you need to just do payroll. So I have an office manager and bookkeeper and a lot of those other like auxiliary tasks, like payroll.
Yeah.
My wife helps me out with, and we kind of keep it a little close to the chest so I can identify things and say like, all right, so like,
Are you personally still running payroll for the whole company?
why check it out?
That's a fucking lot of work.
Before it goes
I mean,
in.
I have like maybe 30 employees to worry about.
No. So between like, almost 100 employees,
Yeah.
every single payroll, like before it gets submitted, I need to look at it because I catch things. Like Luis, my guy in Margate store, he's been with me for 10 years. He's not on salary. He's an hourly employee. He doesn't want a management position. He's just really good in the kitchen. He's really good at, line process and cooking and whatever. And that's what he does.
Yeah.
He's been for years. So we took vacation. And I give him 2 weeks vacation like anyone else. And I pay him 40 hours basically. But that's something that I do.
Yeah.
So we ran payroll and he forgot to get paid.
Yeah.
Or would have forgot to get paid. But at the end, before it gets submitted, I'm like, what about Luis? Like, he doesn't have any hours.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to pay him 40 hours.
Do you offer paid vacation here?
If you're in a management position
Yeah.
and you're on salary,
Yeah.
I give 2 weeks paid.
Has it been tough? Has it been tough hiring or finding those like key members?
I mean, I feel like the more senior members I'm looking for,
Yeah.
it's not a world that I come from. So I'm not going to mention any names of other places, but like I'm friendly with a lot of some brands that are regional, some companies that have facilities in like 26 states, you know, and they're always giving me advice, and I want to hear it. Like, so what do you do in your management? How does it work? And different layers. Like, I didn't come from that world.
Yeah.
So I'm hiring sometimes out of need or necessity, and to fit a specific role.
Yeah.
So the higher I guess it gets, I don't maybe sometimes know what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And my first inclination is, are you a good person?
Yeah. Of course.
And can you learn? And we want to listen and learn. And if that's the case, we'll learn together and we'll figure out a role together.
Yeah.
So, you know, between those things, it's not so pigeonholed in that. So with that respect, like higher level management, yeah, I probably struggle with that a little more. But in terms of like pizza making and grill and cooks, like I feel like we got it dialed in enough where we can kind of understand someone's propensity to learn or not.
Yeah, you can usually walk into a shop and kind of like see, like you can feel the vibe. It seems like like we walked in, everyone's having a good time back there too.
Yeah, they're all chilling.
You know what I mean?
Like, I'm not a crazy micromanager.
Yeah.
Like enough that, you know, I like unit economics, so I'd like to dive into the numbers, I like to dive into pizza and the unit economics of a sub and like what's a loss leader, what's not. Like I love that data.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, I try not to be too micromanaging and say, listen, however we get to the solution, I'm into.
Yeah.
Like you gotta live and die by the health department.
Yes.
We gotta live and die off of recipe and what we do. We gotta live and die off of customer service and saying yes to people and no problem. Let me check. Like, you know, it's in our handbook.
Yeah.
If you don't know something, you can tell a customer to their face, I have no fucking idea, but I'm gonna go find out.
Yeah, I'll
it's
figure
in
it
our
out.
handbook.
Yeah, that's
It's
great.
in our corporate like employee handbook. They have to sign it. I have no fucking idea, but I'll find out the answer.
Yeah.
So the customer doesn't walk away angry or confused, or maybe you just genuinely don't know. Maybe it's your first fucking day and everyone's busy and you're by yourself, you know? So I try to give everyone a little more, you know, room or leeway and not be on top of everyone.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a robot. I want them to enjoy themselves and talk shit with their friends. And
That's a very hard thing, I think, for a lot of owners to do.
Huge.
It's not like I've walked in this, I've done it myself too, where I'm micromanaging and I have to be like, what the fuck am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm like, I have to apologize.
well, there's certain things that like I'll do over the years, or I've done over the years. But like, let's say I'm hot about something. Maybe a customer that's been there every single day or every single week for 5 years comes in and gets a bad experience. And it could just be a one-off. Like we make mistakes, things happen.
Yeah.
And I'll come in hot. And I have to catch myself because I'm like, yo, why the fuck is? And then it's like the health department.
Yeah.
They come in and see one bad thing.
Yeah.
They're going in hard.
Yeah, I know.
which
They go
get.
harder.
They
Yeah.
go harder, which I get because you know they want to make sure. And if one little thing is off, then maybe a lot of things are off.
I know.
So
It's that trickle down effect.
yeah, of course. So for me, I come and see one weird thing,
I know.
And
And you
it's
see,
on, and I'm
yeah,
like,
I know.
oh.
And then you see 9 others, dude.
and it's tough with you know a shop having 20, 30 employees.
Yeah.
Let's just say in on season, I have to really rely on my management and maybe dial them in a little bit and say, hey, listen, come here, guys. Like, listen, this is what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Before I go in and go fucking crazy, let's go over your checklist one more time. Let's go over operational counter checklist, kitchen checklist. Let's just put a pause for 5 minutes on everything. Phones, you name it.
Yeah.
No one's gonna know. No one's gonna care. 5 minutes is no big fucking deal in the big picture. And I want you to focus on those things. I'm gonna go cool off for 5 minutes. I'm gonna come back and let's see what's going on.
Yeah.
And 10 times out of 10, I come back and those things that are catastrophic,
We're all fixed.
they're all fucking fixed.
Yeah.
And ultimately, they're not catastrophic.
Yeah, of course.
The customer would probably have no idea that one salt was a little drier because, you know, like,
Yeah.
they wouldn't even fucking know. But I know.
Of course.
And that's enough to make me fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But in reality, if you know this business and you're in this business, you also appreciate the hard work that goes into doing this business.
Yeah.
The people that you work with or work for you or work with you or whatever you want to call it, you gotta fucking grind and you
Yeah.
gotta bust your ass.
Yeah.
So, you know, ultimately it's like there's gotta be some leniency on that side where you're like, you know what? We're not robots. We're not, you know, beep bop, boop bop, and everything's gonna be, you know, rhythmic.
Yep.
There are certain things that are little nuances that just need to be worked on. There's communication, that's team building, and you know, then you back yourself off and you're like, all right, it's not the end of the world. It's no big fucking deal.
Yeah. I just need to chill out.
Let's all fucking put our hands
exactly.
in. Let's go back.
hug it
And then
out.
it's good.
Yeah,
no
yeah,
big
yeah.
deal. And then they they excel.
Yeah.
And they exceed, and you know, like any other business, there's always weird shit that happens. There's always things that go on.
Yeah.
But
and being understanding and like calm in those moments too, when it kind of that goes a long way. So many people just can fly off the handle. I've worked with people that just and it never did anything. It makes everyone feel like shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And like and ultimately if I get to that point, which I really don't, I haven't gotten to that point in probably 5 years.
Yeah.
Even with COVID, like I had to really tame myself down because COVID was a shit show.
Yes. But yeah.
I mean, I don't care what PPP you took. I don't care what EIDL you took.
Yeah.
Like, it's still a shit show.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, I had to back myself off a lot of times, just take a deep breath, which helped me a lot. And now it's like, if you want everyone on the same page, it's just, to me, more learning, more training, more process. And if someone's not ready for the register, then like they shouldn't be answering the phone. Totally cool.
Yeah.
You sit back and watch, and in a day or 2 days, if you can't get it, maybe it's not the right job for you.
Yeah, maybe it's not the right fit.
It's not the right fit.
Yeah.
But before you start answering the phones or helping the customer that you have no idea what you're talking about, let's just learn a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'll pay for that. I'll invest in you if
Yeah.
you invest in us.
Yeah. That's a two-way road.
Yeah, for sure.
Before I forget, what's the story with this sign?
So
this piece of work.
This sign came from a place in Pleasantville, New Jersey, and it was a used restaurant equipment supplier. The guy's name is Pepe Leo. He's still around. He doesn't do equipment anymore, but he's still around. And
Pepe Leo?
Pepe Leo. was his
Okay.
name. And
Sounds like a Don.
Yeah, he's
Pepe Leo.
he's wild, this guy. So he had an equipment warehouse, and he sold us a bunch of used equipment for this store when we first opened up. And this was sitting in his window. It was all dust and crap all over it. Like, you could barely make it out, but it was enough that you could tell, like, welcome to Atlantic City.
Yeah.
And I asked him, yo, can we buy this? No. My father asked him, yo, can we buy this? He said, no. Yo, sell it to us. It's like, nah, it's a piece of shit. It's all broken down. Like, I'm not selling it. It's cool for my window. Like, we'll buy it. He's like, you don't want to buy this. And you could tell, like, he would sell it. He just was trying to, just like, I don't.
Go get
like,
fucked.
just,
Yeah.
dude,
Buzz
like,
off.
Get the fuck out of here. And my father had like a really funny rapport with them. And they were bullshit. So my father one day was like, yo, you know what? Let's just go fucking just like gank you. I was like, really? My father's wild. My father's
He sounds like
crazy.
a crazy guy, dude.
He's from Newark, New
This thing does
Jersey.
not look like an easy thing to steal.
My father's got thick skin. Like, you know, he's got been in weird situations. Like, nothing gets him excited. Like, if you tried to rob him, he'd just be like, dude,
Whatever.
what the fuck? What's wrong with you? Like, he's got it.
Yeah.
And he told the guy, he's like, yo, he told me, he's like, yo, let's just take it. I was like, really? So he went, we got a pickup truck, he threw it in the back of the pickup truck, and we took it out of his front window. We left $600 on his desk, and we just went. And the next day he was like, oh yeah. And the next day he was like, Steven, throw some more pepperoni ranch in that? Thank you. The next day, he was like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Thank you. And we're like, yeah, like we knew, like, fucking take the money. Like, what's wrong with you? And we cleaned it up, put it on the wall, and a historian came in here and told us it was like 100 years old or something. And I was like, I don't think so, because the diving horse was from like the 1920s or the 30s. So like there's certain things in here that like weren't from like 1890.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
that's not true. But like it definitely is old. It came from something weird. We didn't know. We had another story come in. It was like, oh, it's probably from like the late 30s, early 40s, because that place was there, but that place.
But like,
just opened
where
up.
was it? Where was it hanging originally?
Guy walks in a couple years later, and he's like, yo, oh, that's cool. You guys still have that. Yeah, I remember when I painted it.
What?
And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I painted 12 of these. He was a stagehand art department for Harrah's, Caesars, or whatever it was. They had a massive warehouse out in Pleasantville. They painted 12 of these for Ocean One Casino Pier, which was the Ocean One Mall in Atlantic City. And it was all around the golf course, mini golf, and go-karts.
Yeah.
And this plus 11 other ones that were of, you know, similar vibe, he painted. And he had them hanging in there. And this was one of them that got saved. The rest of them, no fucking idea. They're probably all destroyed. And I was like, holy shit. He's like, yeah, it's
So how old is it actually? Like 30 years old?
It's like 1987 or I don't know, 1992, 1995.
Yeah.
I don't know, not too crazy old.
The tightest story about that is you guys just
but the best part about it is this one story. This one guy, Boo Pergament, came in. This place used to be called Pergaments back in the turn of the century. It was like a nickel and dime, 5 and dime or something like that. There was a place called Bums across the street. It was like a well-known grocery, drugstore. And this became this guy, Mike, who's a Greek guy that used to put mayo in his hair and drink wine and give people from the neighborhood like the Euro cutters to fight each other. Like he was a wild dude.
Wow, okay.
So like I knew about that. I knew about those things, but this guy came in and was like, actually, and he gave me a little history of like the building. He gave me history of like this. He's like, that is not that old. I'm telling you right now. Just like the pictures here and the frame, like, no, it's gotta be like, I don't know, 30 years old.
Yeah.
It's before the guy walked in. I was like, really? He's like, yes, I'm telling you. This is not that fucking old. But the first guy was like, oh yeah, you got a relic in your hands. You should contact Boardwalk Empire at the time.
Yeah.
I contacted them like, oh, this would be dope to put in there. But the Diamond Horse wasn't there yet. And I was like, I don't know, man. This historian's telling me that this is like directly in line with like Nucky Thompson. He was like, no.
No, that ain't it.
That ain't it. Like, you're out of your mind. But we kept it. So this store is the only one that has this.
Well, it's a sick ass sign.
So we kept
regardless.
it. Yeah.
And it still has
not
a
really
great
on
story.
brand per se, but I don't care. I own the building. This is our first shop.
Yeah.
It's 10 years since day one. You know.
Yeah.
It's gonna stay here.
It's gonna look like a great background in this podcast.
Yeah. There you go.
Is there a failure that you could share? A big failure during your career that like really helped you grow?
I mean, I feel like you're always getting hit with some kind of failures.
Yeah.
It could be like a sub that doesn't come out properly or pizza that's not like the way you wanted it.
Yeah.
The pizza maker knows exactly how to make it. For whatever reason, they just were like, you know, so
Didn't
like,
come out right.
right. Like, just, yeah, like, it's that big of a deal. It's like, oh, yeah, like, that looks nothing like our pizza. Oh, yeah, but it's still okay. When you really break it down, it's like, yeah, it's fucking food and you can eat it in your mouth. But like, that's not your brand. That's not what you do. Like, you're vegan, right? The pizza? Mostly?
Vegan, mostly.
Yeah. So imagine if you're a guy who made sausage, just putting like sausage into the sauce because that's how he likes his sauce. And you're like, whoa, like, yo, people can't eat it. Like, but he doesn't understand because he's like, what do you mean? Like, it's fucking tasty. Like, no, I know, but like, our customers don't eat meat. Like, yeah, but I'll put chicken instead. It's like, no.
They
like,
don't get it.
No, you don't like, so like those little failures. Yeah, over the years, like I've definitely had some hard knocks. I've had some hard hits. This shop got decimated in Sandy.
Oh, did it?
Here.
Yeah.
Oh God, we had to replace all of our equipment. I mean, totally wiped out. Where I basically had to start from scratch. You know, I've been in some partnerships over the years and trying to expand with some guys that own nightclubs and stuff, and it just didn't. It wasn't the right fit, which set me back a little bit and humbled me a little bit in terms of understanding and realizing people's intentions and good intentions, just not the same.
Yeah, as yours.
Not the same goal, not the same, motivation. So with that, and then, in terms of failures, it's like, it's got to fuel growth for me. I'm not trying to shrink.
Yeah.
Forget money wise and forget like growth for the company, just professionally and like mentally. I want to grow.
Yeah.
I want to learn. I want to get better at what I do. It could be little small steps. It could be learning some knowledge, like at Pizza Expo, maybe. There's always things to learn. There's veterans that have been in the business forever that would probably come into my operation and just be like, what the fuck are you doing? And save me money and or efficiency or quality. Like, there's always things to learn.
Yeah.
So in that respect, I feel like every day I'm taking some kind of hit. I'm learning some kind of lesson from something.
Yeah,
and the goal is just to not do it again.
Yeah.
To get better at it.
Yeah. That's the life of a business owner, constantly struggling.
Yeah, and like, there's certain things like capital improvement wise or like heavy asset wise that I've like taken a dive on. And I've really gone in on the hardcore things like this Variovac machine that I bought because we were starting to wholesale mozzarella. This Variovac machine's like a $200,000 investment. It's a fucking serious machine. But you can't do wholesale mozzarella if you're hand wrapping it. And if you do, the shelf life is shit. The bacteria that's in the bowl that you're wrapping is gonna get weird.
Yeah.
You can't get it into a grocery store if that's the goal. You can't distribute to specialty stores. So I had to take that dive. It's a fucking hard lesson to learn, but the goal is that we grow and eventually it pays off.
Yeah. Well,
so, with any store, with any investment.
Yeah, and not having fear in those failures, because hopefully they don't happen again.
Yeah, I mean, any failures for you that you...
Yes. I mean, opening up the restaurant, the Hot Tongue, was a huge failure because I did it. Everything went wrong. It was I just didn't know the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
And I spent way too much money, and now it's just a giant, giant hole that will take years to pay itself back or be profitable, because I didn't think about logistics, how much things were going to actually cost.
Yeah.
And I was way over my head.
Well, put it this way, like when we opened up Jersey City, so it kind of reminded me as you were telling me this, Jersey City store, we had a model in mind, we have numbers in mind, and at that store, like, we have certain metrics that we want to hit, but that wasn't the goal. The goal was just duplicating what we normally did in Hoboken or Atlantic City. And we dumped in, I think, $550,000 to open that store.
Yep.
I opened Hoboken for $125,000.
Yes.
I did the tile work. I did the floors. Me and my father. We had a guy, Mike from Atlantic City, that helped us out with drywall. Like, we just did everything. Everything included, including equipment, used equipment, $125,000. I partnered up with some guys and we're like, let's do it right. Let's do it like corporate right, which I'm down for.
Yeah.
I don't know about that shit. So to me, it's like, well, then we have to get this equipment and this tile and blah, blah. And it took super long, and we were relying on architects and other people that maybe didn't care as much.
Yeah.
And $550,000 later, we have a store.
Yeah.
That's a fucking huge hole to crawl out of.
Yeah.
And we're still crawling out of it in Jersey City.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild to think like that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's pretty much the same story, except
your goal is to make it nice and on brand and good for your customers and to produce pizza.
Yeah.
And if you dialed it back and started from scratch again, I'm sure you would.
It would Zach from Prime Pizza said that, like, if it doesn't make my pizza taste better, then I'm not going to spend money on it,
It's
but
true.
it's like,
that's a tough thing to.
It is, because I'm like I like the vibe. I do like the architecture. I do want it to be this different space, but I think that, like, I got caught up and I was like, and when you design a store, right? It's kind of like one of those things, they're designing all this shit and then they don't give you the pay, like how much everything's going to cost until you get to the bid.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is this countertop $40,000?
Yeah.
It's like, why didn't anyone, when we were designing this, why did someone not say, hey, this can be 40 G's, right?
But isn't it also a little bit of a head trip, though, in that vein, that you do look at other places or people that do seemingly do that stuff inconsequentially, and it works for them, or it seemingly works for them.
Yeah.
And you try to do that, and you're like, well, it's a fucking countertop. And you're like, holy shit, what the fuck? People actually spend money, and the answer is, I don't know. Because maybe they don't. And maybe they are scrappy, and they bootstrap it, or maybe their cousin is the one that does it.
Yeah.
And a lot of businesses over the years that I've learned to take that point by a countertop, so you never really know what goes on behind the scenes. I had a friend that was huge into gambling, and he had very successful businesses, but his businesses were all funded by his gambling profits, and the business really never made money. It wasn't a legal thing.
Yeah.
It was like, and that was his lifestyle, and that's how he employed his family and whatever. Like, the business never made money. And you would go in there, it was cheap, and you're like, and it was expensive shit and tons of staff. And me being in the business, I was always like, what the fuck? But then you learn, like, that wasn't his business. Yeah. Some people have trust funds, and this is
you never know.
You never know.
You never know.
And over the years, I've tried to get slicker with that kind of stuff and be a little more realistic with build outs. My first inclination is to get epoxy floors and like do it right. But in like a mozzarella factory, my father was like, dude, what are you doing? You're gonna spend $25,000 on epoxy floors? Like, we'll get someone in here. We'll get some tile guys.
Yeah.
We'll go to Home Depot.
Yeah.
They'll be in and out of here for $5,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but it's not gonna. He's like, dude, if I told you that you'd have $20,000 in your hand cash right now with a floor that works, yeah, but in the future, he's like, then you tackle that in the future. Would you take $20,000? And the answer, and the floor is gonna work fine? Yes.
Yeah.
The answer is yes.
Yeah, give me the 20K.
But Jersey City, like I'm sure with you, you were just like, well, it's gonna work, and hopefully get the customers, and they pay off, and you realize the amount of hole or debt or whatever, and you're like, holy shit, like, wait, what's it gonna take to pay that off? How many fucking years?
Yeah,
How many pizzas?
it's suffocating,
Holy shit.
and this is something
Uber
that
Grubhub 30%.
I know. It's like
it's
like this, like trying to crawl
It's
out of the
wild.
hole.
It's
But
wild.
we'll get there.
Yeah. No, listen, you got to push forward, and you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You got to be confident in your product, and
Of course.
and you know, steadfast in the process. And
I mean, the biggest, I love lessons that cost a ton of money and heartache and anxiety. You know, those are my favorite lessons. The ones that are like, where's the Xanax, you know?
dude,
But
I'll tell you, and not to bring up COVID again, but COVID was like a huge eye opener for me.
yeah,
Because any little cracks in my business, any little thing that I thought I had my head wrapped around,
Yeah.
or any little thing that I thought didn't really fucking matter, like it doesn't give a shit. Like it is what it is, and we'll figure it out.
yeah,
Like to actually figure those things out during COVID, it was wild.
yeah,
Because everything was just coming down, and to work with masks on, and to work with customers, limited menu, and then skyrocketing food costs, and like it was a huge.
it was a rodeo.
It was oh my god, it was the craziest shit.
Yeah,
And I have like this thing where nothing really shakes me too much, you know? But every day I feel like this business, and I'm sure if you're an operator out there that does this all day and has 300 locations, whatever, you're probably, this guy's out of his fucking mind. But like I walk through the day, I used to anyway, where like a scary fucking clown constantly with a machete jumps at me, and like, oh shit, and like everything, like could be a customer thing, or make pizza, or how come the pizza guy didn't show up, and why come you're not wearing a hat, and like whatever those things were. And this business is a rough one.
Yeah.
So to me, it was like a scary fucking clowns jumping at me all day long with a machete.
Yeah.
And I've had to learn how to just fucking mush them, like.
yeah. What's worth your energy?
And COVID taught me like, almost like how to fucking mush the scary clown.
Yeah,
Because if not, like, caught, you're just fucking dead.
yeah. I
And I'm
agree
dying.
with that. I agree with that. I can feel that. I like literally started reading like self-help books during COVID, dude,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I like, haven't stopped because it
Oh,
was
yeah.
it was a lot of like looking in the mirror and figuring out how to
And
rework this.
Yeah, and you know, for you, a store and like dumping all the money into it and whatever. Like, there's always ways to finagle it. There's always finance options. There's always, but
Yeah.
in reality, I come from like a bootstrapping background. I don't have crazy investors. I don't take out crazy loans.
Yeah.
And it's literally either way, any way you cut it, you still got to pay back. Or there's still a deficit of this, or there's still that investment.
Yeah.
And you got to figure out how to fucking do it.
Yeah,
Because it's a business,
yeah.
you know?
Shit or get off the pot.
Shit or get off the fucking pot. For
All right,
sure.
we're at the final, most important question.
Yeah.
And this is, what is the greatest band or artist of all time?
Oh my God. I mean, it's pretty simple for me.
Mhm.
It's not a hard question at
Okay.
all. I mean, I would say Gangstar
All right.
for so many reasons.
Rest in peace.
One of which, who I think is just a great lyricist, and he just vibes to the beat. And the beat, of course, is the greatest DJ producer of all time, DJ Premier.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't not have an amazing fucking song if he's on it. It could be ASAP Ferg, it could be whoever he's working with, Nas, like who's in the Bowl Call tonight. He's not Nas, you know. And I love Wu-Tang, I love the RZA, I love Led Zeppelin, and I mean, I can go on for hours, but like Gangstar,
Hell yeah.
and just where it trickles down and what it's come to and what it's influenced, is just, I don't know. That's it.
Yeah.
Gangstar.
Respect. All right, Mike, where do we go?
And I met Guru in Italy and chilled out with him.
Wait, you hung out with him?
He walks into a bar
In Italy?
in Florence. I lived there for like a year.
Firenze.
Firenze, and we're at this place called Andromeda, which was like, it was this like basically all American students hanging out and chilling out. And this dude walks in, and me and my boy Nick, who's from Brooklyn, were like, oh shit. No one else had any idea. No one else knew who the fuck he was. He's walking by everyone. People are, you know, no big deal. And he was with this girl. And I walked up and I was like, yo, you're the fucking man. Let me tell you something. That new joint you just dropped, which was just because I want to, it don't mean I will. Just because you're angry, I don't mean I kill. Just because I look good, it don't mean I'm with it. I forget what song was that. Doesn't matter. he just dropped it. And he was on tour with Jazzmatazz, Guru, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And we started bullshitting. We hung out all fucking night, just drinking, hanging out. And the next day, he was at the local coffee shop on the corner where I lived. And we popped in. He's like, oh shit, yo, what's up? Again. And he was with some girl, I don't know if it was girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he was like, you gotta fucking go over there. And we chilled out. So that plus
Dude,
the
that's
fact
tight.
that he said,
That's a tight ass story. Of all places. Yeah.
Yeah, all places.
He was on tour.
With Guru Jasmine.
Well, there's a rare moment of when you do have time on tour to just hit a club or
Yeah, he just chill the fuck out.
Yeah, chill
He's
out.
just hanging out. There was no kind of, he wasn't in a rush, and the girl he was with, he was like, yeah, you gotta fucking,
later.
you gotta chill.
Yeah.
I'm hanging out with like my
The
fans.
boys, dude.
Yeah, it was great.
Where should people go to get in touch with you, to reach out? Instagram, but probably the best to see some of the most.
I mean, Instagram for sure, Mike at TonyBoloney.com.
Yeah.
Anyone can email me, I don't care.
Yeah.
We do pizza making classes, we do virtual classes, we ship out kits all over the place, we do big corporate classes. And every class I tell people they have me in perpetuity. Any questions about pizza, any questions about whatever it is, like I'm an open book. Find me, Mike at TonyBoloney.com.
Do you get a lot of like people reach out and be like, "Yo, dude, like, how are you doing this? Like, how did you?"
The best is when I'm on a pizza class. It's a private class, and I'm up there and I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
And we ship out kits, let's say like 500 people.
Yeah.
And it's for like CDW, which is a big client of ours. Through a company called Events by M. And we'll do a class. It's like 500 people on the end that have our pizza kits. Thanks, man.
Take care.
And we're up there, we're doing our thing. And then someone during the class, they're like, yo, why the fuck are you doing this right now? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, why are you here with us? What do you have nothing better to do?
Yeah.
Teach your fucking pizza class. I was like, what am I supposed to do? Which
Yeah.
maybe is a problem. Maybe I should be doing something else. But I'm like, I don't know.
I think it's pretty sick.
I enjoy doing it. I have fun with 500 fucking people that we just shipped out kits to.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's good money, obviously, and it's expansion of brand, and people like it. And I'm teaching you how to make pizza. Do you know how to make pizza? Raise your hand. Half people don't. All right, good. So let's have some fun with it. Where am I supposed to be? Like, I guess so. But you're a busy guy. I'm like, I'm not too busy for this. I'm
Yeah.
not too busy for my customers. I'm not too busy to work behind the counter or help out or teach people how to make pizza. Like, I don't
Right.
know. What the fuck else would I do? Sit
Answer
behind a
a question,
desk? Like,
yeah.
I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
Never been that guy.
Yeah. Like,
Which also gets me in trouble sometimes.
I bet your wife's like, "Are you ever coming home?"
She's like, yo, like, how come payroll's crazy? I'm like, listen, Luis is on vacation last week. Yeah, but he's not on payroll. Yeah, I know, but I'm paying him for 2 weeks vacation a year. But what are you talking about? Did you agree to that? Is there a written contract? No, it's fucking Luis though.
Yeah,
and I love him.
handshake. Yeah.
She's just like,
Like,
so,
I
you
get
know,
those looks all the time. Like, are you? What?
it's all right though.
Yeah.
Keep it moving.
That's right. Dude, thank you so much for your time. This has
Yeah.
been awesome.
Appreciate
we didn't
it.
even get into like the catering or like the farmers markets really, but
We
But,
do catering. We do fresh mozzarella. We make it. We do farmers markets. I'm in Sicily harvesting olive oil. We pick it, press it. We smoke hash and drink wine for 2 weeks. 2 donkeys, Old Stone. We grind it up, put it in vats within 6 to 8 hours. So it's fucking fresh. We soak smoked olives and chilies and whatever else in it. Pull it out. That's how you get the spicy oil.
when are you gonna get that all? When's that gonna be nationwide, dude?
If there wasn't a crazy drought
Yeah.
all throughout Europe,
Yeah.
and production this year was less than half of what it was last year, I don't even think I can afford to sell it wholesale, which is fucking crazy. So watch out for olive oil prices and oil prices in general.
Oh, they're already going up.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're going through the fucking roof.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
Prices are going up, ladies and
Prices are
gentlemen.
going up. Today's price is not yesterday's
Yesterday's
price.
price. What is that
Fat
from?
Joe.
Yeah.
Fat Joe. He's the man. Shout out to Fat Joe. I've been on like
yesterday's
3
price.
TV shows with him. He's been in my shop a couple times. He lives in New Jersey. He's the fucking man. So Fat Joe, shout out.
There you go, Fat Joe. Later. Dude, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you guys.
I wanna know